for us all, and I look forward to every next step of the journey with you. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Reno Cherokardni.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Ngāti Raukawa. Tēnā koutou, nau mai, hara mai, ki te whare pāramata e takatū nei. Ki te whakatūtuki i ngā wawata o rātou mā. Huri noi ngā rangatira o te whare, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Mr Speaker, I'm delighted to be able to speak at this final reading of the Ngāti Raukawa settlement. So I come from the South Island, and we are in the process of doing a lot of settlements in the south, and my own iwi of Ngai Tahu were first off the blocks there, and I've marvelled really and been able to be part of within my own iwi, but also some 15 plus years on now to see the developments that have taken place as a result of the treaty settlements. And I know that Ngāti Raukawa have a very exciting future ahead of them. In my earlier speeches, sir, I've spoken about the historical accounts and the heinous acts that were inflicted upon Ngāti Raukawa. Ngāti Raukawa were drawn into conflicts, going to the aid of their cousins in the Waikato Wars and in the Tauranga Wars. And as a result of that, they were largely left landless, had all their rights stripped, and were just really left with not much at all. In fact, sir, in the 18 and 1900s, Ngāti Raukawa were not even acknowledged as an iwi. They were just included as a hapu of Waikato Tainui. So I'm very humbled to be able to stand here today to acknowledge this iwi of Ngāti Raukawa and all of the kaumātua and all of their talented people that have been involved in negotiating and getting this settlement to this final home run stretch. And it is a great honour. I look at the quantum amounts of the settlement, sir, and I mentioned it in my earlier speech, that really the generosity of the negotiators of all iwi that have shown. We know that the treaty pūtea is quite limited, sir, but in terms of reparations, there really can be no equivalent reparation for the loss and the mamai that has been inflicted upon iwi throughout the motu. We just had a very small amount for one of the iwis from Te Arawa earlier this morning, or all three in fact, sir. And contrasting that, as I do, with Ngāti South Canterbury Finance, $1.2 billion, $1,200 million to that iwi down there and their hapu of investors. Although don't tell my Ngai Tahu whānau about that. But that Ngāti South Canterbury Finance, sir. So when it comes down to it, there is pūtea there when they need it. And but I do acknowledge the graciousness of this iwi, Ngāti Raukawa, who have accepted this and worked hard to come to this point with their settlement, sir. And that does include a lot of complexities. I'm from the south, so I don't quite know all the arrangements with all of their cousins around in the immediate vicinity. But I know that they have worked very hard to be able to get to this point, and I acknowledge them for that. Sir, I mentioned at the start of my speech about the contribution that Māori, and particularly iwi settlements, are making to the Māori economy. And I'm really looking forward to the contribution that Ngāti Raukawa will make from this settlement to the Māori economy, which is entering a golden age, as has been expressed by the ANZ Bank, I believe. So it is an exciting time, and if you do look around the central North Island in particular, with all of the agribusiness, geothermal, generation, and all the other work, the ability for Māori landowners and for recapitalised iwi groups to harness those opportunities that they have. It really is exciting. I was down with my own folks down south just the last week, and they've got some very big plans down there in terms of dairy expansion throughout the South Island. It blew my mind in terms of what is happening right across Aotearoa when you look at the Māori economic space. And not enough attention is really paid to it. It really is under the radar, but there are some phenomenal organisations out there. And I know that Ngāti Raukawa is right among those ranks with the talented people that they have leading their iwi sir, and particularly through this settlement. And I do acknowledge Vanessa Eparaima. I only met Vanessa briefly when I attended the select committee, but I was just very impressed with a very highly capable crew that they had there, and also Chris McKenzie. I know he's gunning for Te Taihauru, but our man Adrian might have another, we'll see who has the last word there. But I do acknowledge Chris McKenzie also, and his contributions that he is making, has made towards the settlement, sir. So there is a lot of history, a lot of mamae, a lot of sweat and tears and anguish and huis and more huis, and I do want to acknowledge those over that process, sir, who aren't here today to celebrate. And I know that there will be many karaua kuia who have passed on, and we do also use these occasions to remember them, sir. As we say, āpiti hono, tātai hono, rātou te hunga mate ki a rātou, tātou te hunga ora ki a tātou. We bind together and we acknowledge all those that aren't here, those who have passed on, and us here, the living. And so, sir, I really don't have too much to add. I could have read a whole lot of historical notes, but read my first and second speech, it's all in there. That Taniwha General Cameron, oh boy, he was a bad bugger. He was a bad bugger, excuse me. But yes, sir, we're here to celebrate. We're here to celebrate Ngāti Raukawa and their fantastic achievements in this settlement. And so I just want to wish them all the very best for a prosperous future, and may they sort of add more to that golden glow to the Māori economy. Tēnā koutou, a tēnā tātou katoa.